gentlemen, this day we are privileged and honored to be discussing a few things that have to do with what God has done. And I will emphasize the word God because I know that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. I'm seated here with a young man, ahimbisibwe innocent, who together with me, the Lord enabled us to win Africa Awards. But more importantly, it's not because of I and ahimbisibwe. I'm here majorly because of the people who have made this possible. First of all, in my own capacity and Benjamin's capacity, I know he will explain, would like to thank those who voted us into this particular place. It's not been easy, but it's worth thanking you for taking that step and believing in us and voting us to be winners in Africa. I am particularly grateful to God that in spite of the many hurdles that we have gone through, I would still want to thank the people, the Sioux Generalist team. They know themselves. I would recall a few names if I can. If I forget your name, please don't take offense of it. But when I start this journey, I can start with the likes of Chigongo from, I think, Uganda Christian University, Anita, I think, people like Conrad, people like Daniela, people like Joel, people like Ruben, Chihembo Trust from Chihembo Trust, people like Batapa, people like Mukwana Son from Kumba. And I'm trying to get all through the universities. We have others again from Makerere University, Daniela. Then
even Mariam is IU.
Yeah, others from Mariam, from IU. The designers like Micho, and the gentleman called Balamaze, our publisher.
Talked about Kathy.
Yes, there's Kathy Asimu as well. Then there's our publisher, Mr. Mungat, and of Jesco. There's so many people from all universities in this country who have really put their sweat in this work that you see here. I'll give an example of this book here that you see, Executive Constitutional Mandate, for example, was predominantly done by many of the students at UCU in terms of coming up with research. This one was majorly the team of Benjamin or Innocent with people from Nkumba University. This one from IU, the Nusfat, remember Nusfat? Yeah, and then Rubin had to come in for forensic law. Murunji, Agatha also had to come for fashion and design. Then we have Batapa who helped us on that as well. And then media law, I think you helped with media law, and cyber trust. So I can point at every book and mention a name. Joel, I remember. And then this one here is done by myself and my two children, Zion Margaret Lubogo, who is at Makerere University Faculty of Law, and Israel YK Lubogo, who is at King's College Budo. Rebels of Jurisprudence.
You have
three types of social dedication. This one I did first of all, and was encouraged by my friend Councillor Cheyune when we're still students at UCU. Ubuntu Ulamanda Law, majorly. There is also the guy who was the best at LDC. The name eludes me, but in my friend also contributed also in almost every person as well as excelled in the academia has been extremely important. Then we have also got this one here. Remember,
Jocelyn was also somewhere.
Jocelyn I think had to do with this as well.
Yes.
Together with James from Nkumba. I remember that. And almost every book here, oil and gas, majorly the group, your class of oil and gas, where we started this issue, where we started strict methodology. We have James from IU, and also my friend Trevor from IU. I don't know, I can go on and on. Art of oratory, also then there is psychology of law, Ruben and Joel. And so almost every student, beginning from Faculty of Law of Makerere University, Faculty of Law Uganda Christian University, Faculty of Law IU, Faculty of Law Nkumba University, Faculty of Law Kawoja Females Campus, many names, I cannot remember everyone. incredible young people, and the inspiration that has come from some of our friends who believe in us in spite of the journey. Let me tell you, this has not been an easy journey to reach where we are, and I'm extremely passionate and grateful. I cannot forget Muchwa, who started with the sui generis to generate the sui generis law up that many of you know from ECU, together with Micho again from IU, who also put in the plan B of the sui generis. So we have, I don't know how many people who the hand of God has caused us to walk through. The journey hasn't been simple. Let me tell you what, there is no single day that I would woken up really, really deep in our hearts, very happy because of the pain. My brother here will give an example. We work 24/7, and people castigate us perhaps because of the work that we do. We have no Monday, we have no Tuesday, Sunday to Sunday, 24/7. We've buried our heads in the books. Let them not lie you. Publication doesn't come easy. And if you see the quality of work that we have, as you can see, it's hardcover. This is serious hardcover. You may never find these books anywhere in Africa.
Actually,
and
people
yes,
castigate us because, not just because of the work that we do, but because of the speed at which we do the work.
right.
Yeah.
And what people forget is that when they see an advert out of a book, they think, oh, it has come out.
It has come out.
In most cases, we throw out the adverts early. Why? Indirectly, so we put pressure on ourselves, because if we know that the advert is out, then it's going to, cause us to put a little pressure. If you remember now, this version, for example, I don't know how many times we did this, including you, of course. Even when you're at LDC, you remember,
Yeah.
you were busy compiling and trying to come up with some of these things. And then the castigators come in, and one of the biggest castigations that we have found is that the books they claim are not reviewed. And what is review? Basically, review simply means getting someone who is cognizant in that subject, and they read through and append their signature and confirm that this is good material. Now, the unfortunate thing with us is that most of these books here, as we realize, are groundbreaking law books. That is the biggest challenge we have, because I can tell you about cryptocurrency, for example. There's a book of crypto. How many cryptocurrency experts do we have here? I can tell you a book about forensic law. How many forensic law experts do we have here? We have witchcraft under law. How many do we have? Music under law. So many of the books, every book you see here is a seriously groundbreaking law book. So there's only one challenge when you had a challenge of cyber under law, if you remember, where some lady was accusing that we had got their information. The researchers, remember you were part of the team that researched. But you came out and said, listen, let's give her the opportunity to remove that part, and then we completely confirm whether or not there's no material. We did that. We sent it to her, she removed that then. But we're luckily enough, the same material that we had claimed that what we have, because we were classmates, came out to be also having been got from another book where we all kind of got information from in terms of referencing. And I think she opted to be referred to a little bit, acknowledged perhaps that her notes had been used. But without offending anyone, we try as much as possible. We believe that plagiarism should never be the case in anyone's time at all. I know it's difficult for people to entirely deal away with plagiarism, but the world is changing. Now we're talking about ChatGPT. You look at the law, that book called The Future Lawyer. It's precisely ChatGPT in terms of what is required. ChatGPT is taking over. What is, there's one called legal personhood, artificial intelligence. There's another book somewhere about legal personhood. Those are positions of the law that you write. Right now, even as I speak, I'm writing one on what they call space law. And so that was my kind of introduction. But as I said, every single day, I don't know how many times my spirit, body and soul has burnt out, literally burnt out, and I felt like dying, to be honest with you. It's been extremely gruesome on me. It's extremely demanding on me. And people ask me why. I don't know how many times I feel like giving up. Today is a Sunday. I should be resting perhaps. But in spite of all that, I'm here trying, and God keeps dropping these ideas in me, and I just can't let them be.
But there is this outstanding question that always comes up. You have the sui generis team has produced so many books, but first of all, the question is, how much are the books? Where do you sell these books? What impels you? What inspires you to make all these books? Because they are quite many. Actually, there are many. These are more than 33 or 35 books plus. So some people tend to ask us, is it about the money that you are chasing? So
Recently, I was with the senior counsel Moema, who was interviewing us about, he has a program called Counterfeit. And we're now writing a book, by the way, on counterfeit, the Chronicles of Counterfeit, how you address them. And he asked that I think you have a lot of money, because I told him only to produce this package, only this package will cost you 1.5 million shillings. 1.5 million shillings, only one package, without getting any profits. So you can imagine. Yet we have given these books all universities in this country, the major universities at least, we've given them, and even all the repositories. So I know that people like you, I don't know, there was a time when you were here for almost 4 months non-stop, working alone, day and night, you know, without serious facilitation like giving you money. And the Lord, when the Lord rewards you, I'm not surprised when you come out to become the best young legal researcher in Africa, you know, because that is potential that has been unlocked in you, you know. Tell us your experience perhaps now that I'm concentrating on you, my friend and son. Tell me your experience. What was your first encounter with me? How did you feel? Well, compared to how you were, where you are now?
Well, I should say the first encounter I had with you was the first encounter I had of research. Because apparently, as we know, that people hate research. People don't want to dig deep into what is the obvious. So, being a student of law and oil and gas at Kumba University, and we meet this new lecturer, Mr. Lubogo Isaac, and at that time I remember there was no book of oil and gas in the whole of Uganda. So he was laboring to teach us a course unit, the law of oil and gas, which there was no proper reference in Uganda, and perhaps even, So he comes up with an idea that he wants to, can we make a book as a team? Can we make a book about the law of oil and gas so that we can simplify the education of the same? So I really didn't want to volunteer in that because oil and gas was really a novel area in my mind. And so gradually I was picked up. I don't know, I just had a phone call and my colleague Trust was telling me that I should meet you and you see how to set this book rolling. And my first encounter with you, first of all, in the book area, first of all, you are my researcher, you are my supervisor in the research. Then when you talked about the books, I'm planning to write a book about this, planning to write about a book on this, and asking us various questions, I was like, I think I should leave this man. Actually, I encouraged my friends and told them, you people who are being supervised by Mr. Isaac, I said, you people, we chose the wrong supervisor because the man was talking about books, new things that do not exist. But eventually, when it came to the book, I had a day with him the first day. He told me what to do, the nitty-gritties. I kept myself keeping up. I was picking up story by story, and for the first time I saw the book of oil and gas. What a big book! We saw the book produced, and it was the first time that I ever believed I can do research. So, and I thank you on that.
So I can categorically say that your efforts was not only specifically in oil and gas, but I think I remember that you did quite a number. I remember even the other one, professional malpractice.
Actually, that was oil and gas. Then that was the law of professional misconduct. Then I also contributed to cryptocurrency. Then we did the law of cyber. Then with my colleague Murunji Agatha, we went on to the law of media.
Media law somewhere.
Media law.
And it's here.
Then
media
we
law
did
and journalism.
Actually the law of media. Then after that we went to the law of sports and entertainment. Then after that, I think that is when we got the idea of making something very mighty. And
that's when the objection.
We came to the objection.
And I think remember the name came from you.
Yes.
Remember? Because ask yourself, what name should we give this book, the mother of all books, to help people at Law Development Center? And then you came up with an idea. I said, why don't we call it Objection?
Objection by Lord.
And when we googled objection, only to realize there was another book called Objection by Lord from Nigeria. So people thought that and it had the same way, the same picture of the way they dress the judges and stuff like that. And people thought we plagiarized. That was not so. And then when we started the phase B, you remember this one of I Saw Bread. Even this title, you remember? I Saw Bread. You see, we came up with this and then still Might of Blood. So I Saw Bread, my Lord. So all these are ideas that I can tell you that they come from young people who you wouldn't believe that they have the potential to do what they do. And many of them have participated not because they have been rewarded in terms of monetary, but because they have given their heart, spirit, and soul.
Maybe Isaac, what I can say about my experience in this research journey. As you rightly put it, I spent so many months just doing research, and there was nothing like hey or what. But what kept me motivated, I think, was this longing to do something good that will help people.
True.
I don't mind what I'm earning or what time I'm spending on something, but it's something I'm doing going to help someone out there. And no wonder the books are free. So I kept on working, and my colleagues, we kept on working and moving and moving and moving without anything that we are seeing feasible that I'm benefiting this.
Yes.
But only God knew that these people are doing something good. And when eventually awards come up and people are like, you, Isaac, you should come up. Isaac, you deserve this. Innocent, you deserve this. And before we knew it, the awards were there. And in the whole of Africa, we gained the recognition as he was the best researcher. I was the student legal tech, a person of the year. And all this comes as a final recognition from God. And no wonder, by the way, Isaac, I don't get surprised when I see that in most of your books, I've realized the dedication is always to who?
God Almighty.
To God Almighty. Because at the end of the day, God Almighty has paid us with the awards, not from man, but from God.
I also remember the first guy who did for us the sui generis, Christopher Muchwa from Uganda Christian University, came to me and said, I have this idea. Let's work together. And I started soliciting for data, information, in terms of where to get it. Now there's a guy who was selling that information of all books, and he said, I want 20 million shillings for, substantial amount, about 4 GBT of information.
20 million.
And say 20 million. Then I told him, but you have more than 20. Can you give me all the 50 G? He said, if you give me 50 million, I'll give it to you. You'll be surprised that you think I'm lying, but we put in the money and we got that information, put it on sui generis law app, and it's free of charge. We're not even asking a single shilling. That's what my brother is saying. All these books are available on sui generis law app and on Lubogo.org. They are available on Amazon, they are available on Scribd, they are available on Digital to Draft, they are available on all repositories of university, Makerere University Repository, Nkumba Repository, Kampala International Repository, Nkozi, name any substantive university, UCU and others, and even UMI. And I was recognized recently, I think you're not aware, as the best legal depositor by Uganda Management, Uganda Library of Uganda.
Wow.
So I was recognized as the best legal depositor because it's a requirement of the law to deposit those books there. And I told them that we probably have the biggest book in Uganda. And they said the moment they verify this, they will call us for another certificate. And I was trying to look at the biggest book in the world, which is about 8 square meters. It's written by some people in America. I thought it would beat the record and go to the Guinness Book of Records.
But what fails, look at all this content. If we manage to put it together well, wouldn't it be good in quantity? Sure?
I know. Okay.